A letter can be a lifeline or a trap. For Melissa Carter, recently divorced and adrift, handwritten notes from Caleb R., an inmate, became her anchor. His words offered comfort, empathy, and the promise of a shared future, everything she craved. But ink can bleed into something darker. What began as solace twisted into manipulation. Melissa poured her heart out, unaware her confessions were being weaponized. Caleb, a master manipulator, spun a web from his cell, using Melissa's trust as his tool. This is a story of how innocent gestures can hide terrifying intentions. Not all monsters look like monsters. Sometimes they come disguised as friends. This is the descent from pen pal to pawn, a journey into the heart of coercive control. In 2024, Melissa Carter's loneliness led her to a prison pen pal website. She reached out to Caleb R., whose profile hinted at remorse and a longing for connection. Their first letters were tentative, sharing hobbies and small talk. Caleb's replies were gentle, honest, and attentive. He seemed to truly listen. For Melissa, his words were a balm, a rare sense of being seen. The correspondence became a ritual, brightening her days. Caleb asked thoughtful questions, encouraging her to open up about her pain and her ex, Daniel. He shared his own heartbreaks, deepening their bond. The distance made him feel safe, just ink on paper, a friend in solitude. Melissa believed she was helping a man find redemption. She never suspected she was being led down a much darker road. The friendship felt pure, but the foundation was already shifting. She was unknowingly giving Caleb the keys to her life. Over time, Caleb's letters shifted from comfort to control. He became Melissa's confidant, urging her to share every detail of her life. His possessiveness masqueraded as devotion. "I need to know everything about you, so I can protect you." He offered advice on her job, finances, and friendships, subtly isolating her. If she delayed replying, his letters brimmed with worry and accusations. Caleb's jealousy over Daniel grew, painting him as a threat and himself as Melissa's protector. Melissa's world shrank. Her life revolved around Caleb's letters. She began to see her past through his distorted lens. Friends and family faded away, replaced by the constant presence of Caleb's words. The comfort she once found became a cage. She was living for the mail, her moods dictated by his correspondence. Melissa was no longer just a pen pal. She was a pawn, her strings pulled from a prison cell. The trap had closed, and she didn't even know it. Melissa's letters were confessions. Caleb's were coded blueprints. Knowing prison mail was monitored, he hid instructions in everyday language. "My cousin needs a ride" meant "get a weapon." Fixing the leaky faucet signaled scouting a location. He used Melissa's stories, her complaints about Daniel, his routines, his blue truck, as intelligence. Caleb wrote to associates in bland, coded phrases, referencing details Melissa had shared. To outsiders, the letters seemed innocent. To his accomplices, they were orders. He maintained two narratives, the lovesick pen pal and the criminal mastermind. Melissa's heartfelt words became the raw material for a conspiracy. The prison mailroom never saw the danger. Caleb orchestrated everything from his cell, using Melissa as his unwitting informant. Her trust became his deadliest weapon. Melissa poured her frustrations about Daniel into her letters, never suspecting the danger. She described his routines, favorite haunts, and even the broken lock on his patio door. Caleb asked leading questions, disguised as concern. "Does he still go to that diner? Tell me about his new place." Believing he cared, Melissa answered in detail. She recounted Daniel's fishing trips, the shed with his gear, and the remote lake he visited. Each story was a piece of a deadly puzzle for Caleb. He compiled a dossier on Daniel, curated by Melissa herself. Her vulnerability became the blueprint for violence. She thought she was building trust. In reality, she was betraying Daniel. Melissa handed over the keys to his life, blind to Caleb's true intentions. Her empathy was weaponized. The betrayal was complete before she ever realized it. With every detail in place, Caleb set his plan in motion. He sent coded instructions to his associates, referencing the lake, the fishing gear, and Daniel's routine. On a cool October night, Daniel drove to the lake, never suspecting he was walking into an ambush. Caleb's associates waited, staging a robbery gone wrong. Daniel fought back but was fatally wounded. The scene looked like a tragic random crime. Police found no immediate suspects. Daniel had no known enemies. Melissa was devastated, mourning Daniel while leaning on Caleb for comfort. Caleb's letters feigned sympathy. "I wish I could have protected him for you." He played the arsonist and the firefighter, comforting the victim of his own crime. From his cell, Caleb had orchestrated the perfect murder, using only letters and a broken heart. Melissa's grief was real, but the true horror was yet to be revealed. The web was complete. The predator had struck, unseen. Detective Isabella Rossi sensed something off about Daniel's murder. The crime felt too targeted, too precise. Interviewing Melissa, Rossi noticed stacks of letters and learned of her prison pen pal. She obtained a warrant to review Caleb's mail, thousands of pages. At first, the letters seemed innocent, but Rossi looked for patterns. She cross-referenced Melissa's confessions with Caleb's coded messages to associates. The breakthrough matching details about Daniel's truck, schedule, and the fishing trip. Rossi realized she was reading a murder plot in slow motion. The mail logs revealed the flow of information, from Melissa to Caleb, then to the killers. Investigators tracked down Caleb's associates, connecting them to the crime scene. Faced with evidence, they confessed. Caleb had orchestrated everything from prison. Melissa's letters became the key evidence in a murder-for-hire case. The truth shattered her world. Caleb's story is a chilling lesson in coercive control. This abuse isn't always physical. It's a campaign to dominate, erode autonomy, and exploit vulnerability. Melissa, reeling from divorce, was the perfect target. Caleb love-bombed her with affection and attention, forging a powerful bond. He isolated her, undermined her relationships, and positioned himself as her only ally. His jealousy and demands for constant contact kept her anxious and dependent. She was too busy managing his emotions to question his motives. For Caleb, Melissa was a resource, a tool to enact his violent plans. He twisted her empathy into a weapon. Coercive control happens gradually, trapping victims before they realize the danger. By the time Melissa saw the truth, it was far too late. This tragedy is a stark warning. Danger often arrives quietly, disguised as kindness. Caleb exploited Melissa's need for connection, proving emotional manipulation can be deadly. We must look beyond the surface of our relationships, online, by letter, or in person. Watch for excessive flattery, isolation from loved ones, and possessiveness. These are red flags. Healthy relationships empower and expand your world, not shrink it. Trust your instincts. That uneasy feeling is your first line of defense. If someone's attention feels like surveillance, it probably is. Don't let anyone gaslight you into ignoring your own discomfort. Melissa was a victim of manipulation and its devastating consequences. Her story is a call to vigilance and self-protection. Set boundaries, seek help, and remember, your safety is not negotiable. Your instinct is the wisest counselor you have.